is Wednesday, October 24th, and I just walked into my room to this. So this is my brand new TV. I was told I was going to get it, and I was told to clear space on my back wall for it. So I cleared, took everything down from right here, which is a nice, great big space. But apparently it was the wrong space. So instead of telling me it was the wrong space and asking me to move my bulletin board, they just threw my stuff on the ground, tore the bulletin board down, put this stuff, which I don't know how I'm going to get that chart down without knocking the TV. So yeah, so now I don't quite know where I'm going to be able to put my focus wall for language arts because I've got this ginormous TV in the middle of it. I mean, I guess it's nice, and I guess it's a good thing that I have this TV. I don't know how to work it. I don't see any instructions. I do see this cable. I don't know if I'm supposed to have this in my room or why I need it. I don't know what that's for. So yeah, this is my morning. So this day has just not been my best. I go to the gym in the morning before I go to school, and I lift weights on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I left my weightlifting set, my sets of what I'm supposed to do at school, so I wasn't able to do that. So I was very reluctant to come to school or go to the gym this morning, but I got myself to do it. I just did cardio. But I also was not looking forward to today because we're having grade level meetings today, and we're hosting, so the whole district is meeting today, and the whole district is meeting at my school, and the whole district is, or the whole second grade, all the second grade teachers are meeting in my room, which means I have to clean up. Oh, good, they did take down one chart and they put it there. That's nice. I'm sorry, I just see that they took down this chart very nicely and stuck it. So they didn't just rip down everything, but, well, they ripped that down because I see the corners are all completely ripped. So already today my stress level is up. And then I walk into this TV and not sure where I'm going to put my focus wall for language arts. So yeah, so for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Kelly. I'm a second grade teacher in California. Usually I'm a lot more positive, but I just walked into a ginormous TV on my wall and a bulletin board completely torn apart and a roll of cable in my room. So I'm a little flummoxed this morning. Yeah, so I'm going to, I guess, take down the bulletin board and figure out, I guess what I'll do is I'll take down this bulletin board over here as my standards for mathematical practices with posters that I made. I don't use it that much. I don't even refer to it that much, even though I always mean to. I have the best intentions, but I just don't. I guess I'll take that down and move that board over there, which saddens me. I just wish they had put that TV, I wish they'd put that TV up here. Honestly, I have these two huge whiteboards, and yes, I end up using both whiteboards, but if they took that one down and had me just use this one, or took this one down, because I'm supposed to be using the TV to project my PowerPoints and anything that I do on AirPlay up there. So I don't need that. I won't theoretically need this board anymore because this is where I project my projector up. So I could get away with just that one. But nope, they want it on this back wall, and apparently they want it right there. Oh look, they also destroyed the ceiling. That's nice. That's not a Williams lawsuit or anything. I'll have to tell the custodian that. Alright, so I'm going to figure out how, well actually I think first I'm going to go make coffee because I definitely need more coffee. And then I'm going to fix the bulletin board and check in yesterday's homework. So I got a lot to do. I will catch up with you later today. Bye.
Hey everyone, I'm back. It is now lunchtime. We got through the morning pretty well. In language arts, we got to do 2 vocabulary words, which if you watch my previous vlogs, I tried to do vocabulary on Google Classroom, and I tried for 2 days in various ways, and it just never worked out. So I printed out the hard copy, and we did 2 vocabulary words, and it went a lot more smoothly, and I think the kids got a lot more out of it, which is good. And then we did main idea and detail for the story. We had identified the main idea and 3 details for the same story yesterday, so we reviewed what the main idea was, and I gave them a graphic organizer. We wrote down what the main idea was, we wrote 1 detail, and I had them do the other 2 details on their own, and that mostly worked. I still have a few kids who need to finish that up, so after we do grammar this afternoon and before we do writing, I'm going to have them finish that, and the rest of them, for the most part, they understood. It was the main idea of the story was that storms are dangerous, and they needed to come up with 2 ways that storms are dangerous. So some people, first I told them to work in groups, but I forgot I have one group where all the kids are pretty low and they're not independent readers, and they were copying down sentences from the book that didn't make sense, like hail is ice, or the lightning jumps between the clouds. I was like, that's not, that doesn't tell me how a storm is dangerous. And then I realized, well, they can't read what it is. So I pulled a small group back and we worked on that together. Some other kids who could read were copying down things, or not copying down, but they were identifying those as the details. And so I had to redirect them and say, no, this is not, that doesn't tell me how a storm is dangerous. That tells me that lightning goes between the clouds, but that doesn't tell me that it's dangerous. So I sent them back. So those are the ones that are still working on that. In math, we are skip counting by 2s, 5s, 10s, and 100s. And when we were mapping out this unit, or this week of math, we realized that our standard for California is different than the overarching Common Core. The overarching Common Core is just skip count by 2s, 5s, by 5s, 10s, and 100s, and California wants us to count by 2s. Well, our book doesn't address that standard at all. It highlights the fact that we're supposed to do it. It has the standard written in the book, but there are no problems where they're counting by 2s. And we wrote the test, and we have 2 problems of them counting by 2s. So I was originally going to pre-test today, or pre-test tomorrow, and then test on Friday, but I need to go over counting by 2s, so that, and then a couple of my kids, or a few of my kids, still need help skip counting by 5s. They count by 10s every time, so I'm going to do that, and or we're going to review that tomorrow. So I printed out some worksheets from the internet. I cut and paste them to make them what I need, and I'm just going to copy that, and that's what we're going to do tomorrow, and then hopefully finish our place value spiders or play one of the games. So yeah, and then I did want to show you my boards because I was able to get a chance to work on them. As you can see, I took down my focus wall right there. I still have to move those 2 anchor charts. I think I'm just going to move them down right here. I moved my standards for mathematical practices boards right here. Unfortunately, this, I wasn't thinking when I did it. I had made these, excuse the mess, I had made these letters that spell out standards for mathematical practices, and when I'd done that, I thought the board was in blue paper, and I got to school, and originally it was in purple paper, and it went right here. And I was like, oh gosh darn it, it's going to fade in, or you're not going to be able to see it very well. And I was going to go home and print them out again, and then a student said, well, why don't you just change the backboard? And I was like, oh, that's, or the paper, and make it blue. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Well, when I remade this, I forgot. I just completely wasn't thinking, and I just used the same paper that was on the focus wall. So it's purple again. So I could change it to blue, or I could just print those out again, or I could figure something else out. I don't even know. I don't even know if I'm going to keep those posters, to be honest. And then my focus wall is jam-packed here. It all fit. It's just a little cramped, I think, and it's just not as accessible as it was before, but at least it's now next to my letters. But it just, before it was right in the middle of everything. I was able to refer to it easily, and now I've got my quote unquote storage space back here in front of it, and I've got a table here, so it's just harder. I guess, well, then I'd have to move my library. I was going to say, I guess I could move my table over into the library so this could be my seating area, but I really want my library to be open there for them to be able to sit in the library. So we're just adjusting. Excuse me. And as for the TV, I was left I don't know if there's supposed to be a remote control. I don't know if there's supposed to be a user's manual. I think I figured out how to turn it on, but I don't know how to hook. Like, I don't know. I have Apple TV, this little box right here. I don't know if this is supposed to be hooked up to my TV or if the TV is automatically connected to AirPlay. I really don't know. It's just a big mystery. So, yes, the mystery of the big TV that was put in my room. So, see, what it is I work in one of the oldest schools in the district, and all the newer schools have TVs, and our principal has been really adamant that it's not fair that they either have smart boards or TVs, and we don't, because we were told that our walls wouldn't support a TV at one point, and that was also the reason that my projector isn't mounted. They were going to mount it at one point, and they're like, oh, well, it'll fall off the roof, or then it would just cost too much money. So they're trying to make it more equal and give us these TVs, which is great, except I don't know how to use it. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it, and all that jazz. So yeah, so it's a mystery. That was my bell. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the kids. We're going to do grammar and then writing, and then we will pack up and go home, and then I've got my district meeting, and then I'm going to stay and lesson plan a little bit so I'm all ready for next week. So I will catch up with you probably after my meeting. Bye. Hey everyone, I made it to the end of the day and I made it through the meeting, which was fine. We went over what we have identified as our essential standards at our school and what we're using as assessments at our school, which is a little hard because my school has been rewriting all our assessments and not all the schools are doing that, so there's some controversy about should we do that, is that okay, or are we supposed to just be using this assessments that we got from the book. But we've been given the okay by our principal, especially in math, so that's what we've been doing. And I feel like I'm not in the frame. I guess I am. I've just been doing my lesson plans and getting all my stuff ready. I do lesson planning on Wednesday for the next week, and then I do all my copies on Thursday afternoon unless I have an appointment and I have to run. But this week I don't have an appointment, so I'm doing all my copies tomorrow, which will also give me time to print things out. I have decided that originally I was going to test or do the pre-test and review for skip counting by 2s, 5s, 10s, and 100s tomorrow, but I think that I have too many students who are just too shaky on that standard, so I'm going to do another 2 days of review. So I'll review tomorrow, because especially since we haven't really hit the standard counting by 2s. So we're going to hit the standard about counting by 2s tomorrow, then we're going to review on Friday. We're going to get those place value spiders done and hung up somewhere in the class, although I'm not quite sure anymore where I'm going to put them. And then Monday we're going to review and do the pre-test so they understand what is expected of them, and then Tuesday we'll test, and that way too we'll get it done before Halloween. I did just want to show you I got my Scholastic book order, so I want to show you what I got in my book orders because I really maximized my free books. I got $10 free, and then I had a bunch of points, so I got a lot. So the first thing I got this book was We Celebrate Diwali, because around Christmas I do a little mini unit on holidays around the world. I got this pack of little critter books that came with 3. I got a Henry and Mudge Sparkle Days, The Biggest Christmas Tree Ever. I'm just so thankful because I'm trying to build my library of Thanksgiving books. I have a really big library of Halloween books. I've got a pretty good library of Christmas books, but I don't really have anything for Thanksgiving. I have The Little Old Lady Who Was Not Afraid of Anything. I got this Chicken in Mittens book. Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, which I think I have a copy of somewhere, but it's always good to have another. I got a little Fly Guy pack, and then I got Splat the Cat, Vote for Splat. So yeah, I got all those books and I didn't have to pay 1 cent for it. All right, so my battery is running low, so I'm gonna wrap this up and I will continue filming tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Bye. Hey everyone, it is now Thursday, October 25th, and it is lunchtime. I've just been struggling all day. It's just been a day. I mean, I woke up, I thought it was Friday, and then I realized no, it was Thursday, and I was just exhausted and draggy, and my nose is running like crazy, so that's never fun, and I just am not great. I have another split class today. This time it's first graders, and the work that was left is too hard for them. Also requires them to do some cutting and pasting, and none of them had scissors and glue, so I was running around trying to get scissors and glue for them and explain what they were supposed to do with the scissors and glue, and trying to remind them to talk quietly. But you know, they're first graders and they're not quite kindergartners because it's not quite the beginning of the year, but they're still very, very young, and they're very excitable. One of them every 5 minutes comes up to tell me that he's doing such a good job, which no, not so much. And I keep having to remind him, okay, go sit down. That's great. You're doing a good job. Now go sit down and do your work. I'm trying to teach. My kids are still, you know, we're moving along. It's been good. I did have a wonderful ELD experience. I do have to say it was a great day today. It's probably the only day this week I'm going to have the full class because of between split classes, and then on Tuesday and Wednesday, we have a intervention program on the iPads that the kids get pulled out to do for half an hour during ELD, and it's the majority of my class. So, I'm doing alternate instruction on those days. This week because I forgot about it. We're doing phonics games. But today I had the whole class in. So what I did is I pulled down the reading program has these 4 picture cards that go along with the story. So I pulled one down that had lightning. And first we talked about what we see. So I gave them the sentence stem, I see, and then we made a list of everything we see and saw in the picture. Which it took some prompting because they just wanted to say, I see lightning, and then leave it at that. But there's so much going on in the picture that I was able to prompt them, and we got everything down. And then from that, we wrote a story. And it was a lot of prompting for me, but I had some kids give me some excellent sentences. Just, I see the lightning that is hitting the mountains and starting a fire. Things like that, just really long. And some from kids that I wasn't expecting it from because they're very quiet, or they don't write. Like when I ask them to write sentences, they either won't or they can't copy, or they don't want to copy, things like that. But orally, these kids were just giving me these great sentences. So we wrote the story, we read the story a few times together, and then I erased the story and I left the topic sentence, which was they gave it to me, storms are dangerous. And then I just had them write, I see, and then I left it blank, and I told them, you're going to write one thing you see. I also see, and then I left that blank. And then I told them, that's all you have to write, or you could write more, or you could write less. So some of the kids wrote a lot more, and they gave me really great sentences. So I gave them our school-wide incentive are called Eagle Dollars. So I gave them an Eagle Dollar for having an attitude to achieve. And the other ones, it's, I praised them and, oh, that was really good. I like how you wrote that. And then there's a lot of people who forgot periods. They remembered capitals at the beginning of their sentences. They just forgot to put periods at the end of their sentence. So that was really great. Then we moved on to math, and we're doing skip counting by 2s, 5s, and 10s. And I was hitting skip counting by 2s. And I didn't have enough on just skip counting by 2s. I think there's 2 questions on it on the test. So I want one in the 10s, so like it starts at 32, and then one that starts at like 112. And some of them are getting it, and a lot of them, I pulled my group that wasn't getting it, and we went over the pattern that we saw, how they all the numbers end in 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0. We just counted by the pattern. and then when we got to the backside and we were doing 5s and 10s, we talked about how it's either going to end in a 5 or a 0, and that's all the numbers. And I'm still getting, okay, so it's 125. So remember, let's go back in our pattern. We have 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5. So what's the next number going to end in? 127. So I don't know what to do. I mean, the skill is skip counting, but they're not getting skip counting, so I need to show it away. I think what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to give them a hundreds chart, and I think to save time, the hundreds chart, it's going to be to 120 if I can find it. It's already going to be filled out, because I've done this before where I've had them fill it out, but I think that's going to take too long, and there's going to be too many kids who make mistakes right now, and they need to be able to write their numbers to 120. That's a first grade skill, but for the essence of time, I'm just going to give them that one that's pre-printed. And then what I'm going to have them do is go through and skip count by 5s and circle the numbers that they say when they skip count by 5s. And then I'm going to have them skip count by 10s, and I'm going to have them put a triangle around the ones that they say when they skip count by 10s. And then I'm going to have them skip count by 2s and color the boxes that they say when they skip count by 2 red. And hopefully they'll be able to see that pattern a little bit better, because I don't know what to do. Some of them have it, and some of them just, they don't, and they just aren't getting it, and I don't know what to do. And it's almost time for the test. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to come back and do grammar. We're reviewing, I believe, kinds of sentences, and then we're going to write. Most of them are done with their stories about a time they were scared, but I have a few that still need to finish up, and I just like to do all of us writing the same story at the same time together. So hopefully they'll finish that, and then we're going to do science. We're going to do the comprehension, or the questions about the activity that we did on Monday. Then we'll do RTI, and then we'll go home. But yeah, so it's like I said, it's been a struggle bus today. I also struggled, my AirPlay, my projector wouldn't hook up to my computer, so I had to call tech. Luckily they were here, probably looking at the TVs, because the TVs have been a mess all over all over the school. There are wires hanging all over the place. There are TVs that were just put up over bulletin boards. Like, I guess I was lucky that they tore part of mine down, because other ones, they have student writing on the wall behind the TV that they can't access anymore. And just things being all left over. I don't have a remote. Some people do have a remote. It's just been so. The tech people were on campus today, and they were able to fix my projector, which was a computer problem. I just need to reboot my computer, which I forgot to do. But yeah, so that's been my morning so far. I will probably not catch up with you at recess, just because there's so much that I'm doing and need to get done. So I will catch up with you again after lunch. No, after school. All right, bye. Hey everyone, so I survived to the end of the day, just barely hanging on by a thread. It got okay. We got through our grammar lesson. Writing, I had so many students who were done, and I'm just waiting for those last few, that what I did is I had everyone who was done go ahead and finish coloring and cutting out their place value spiders, and then the ones who were still writing, finishing up their writing. And I still have, I think, one student who still needs to finish, but I'll just have him do it tomorrow at some point, and then we'll be done, and then next week we'll be able to go on to our next writing prompt. Science was okay. The questions were pretty easy to answer. It was how are the organisms in each habitat similar? How are they different? And what organisms did you find in both habitats, kind of. So we talked about that. Then one part of the program is this new paper called Investigating Phenomena, and it's kind of like a KWL chart where you have your questions or your knowledge before the project, during, and after. So I was like, we filled it out before, and I was like, let's go ahead and pull it out and add what we've learned so far. Well, that was a mess. They were pulling them out of their classwork folders, and some had papers just spilling out, and some couldn't find it, and some were all crumpled, and it was just, so I was like, okay, we need to do something about this. So luckily RTI got canceled. So after most everyone found their Investigating Phenomenon paper, we did that, And then I said, okay, so let's go ahead and go through our purple folders, or what they are, our purple folders, and let's organize them. So I pulled out there's like 4 papers that they needed to have. I'm like, these are the 4 papers that you need to have. These are your science papers that you need to have. And then I pulled out other papers. I'm like, all this goes into the recycle bin. Well, for the most part, they were able to do it. I had some kids who threw away everything, and then we had to go digging through the recycle bin and find their science again. And I had some kids who just put a lot of their stuff. I have some hoarders in my class. I have kids who have things in their backpacks that I gave them on the first day of school. And it's insane. So I can't worry about their backpacks. So I worry about what's in their purple folder, what's in their Wednesday folder, and then if their homework folder ever comes to my attention, what's in their Wednesday or their homework folder. All the other stuff I just kind of let them deal with. So then what I gave them was a sheet protector. And I said, we're going to put all our science papers into the sheet protector. And that way, at the end of the unit, I'll be able to collect everything and sort of go over it. Probably not grade it because we're doing the majority of it together, but at least I'll get a good idea of what they're understanding and what they're not understanding, and then have work to show their parents at the end. Because the end of the unit is going to kind of coincide right when we do parent conferences. So I'll be able to say, see, we did this, we did this, we did this. So we put those into the folder, and I put them in because the folders have prongs in them, and did that. So then it was just, the kids were all wild. The first graders were running all over the place because they finished their work or they couldn't understand their work anymore. And I was like, you know what? We have about 15 minutes left. We haven't gotten a chance to do art in forever. So I gave everyone a piece of paper and we started doing a fall art project where we drew a tree. I was originally going to try and do it by having them paint, but I didn't have enough time to paint, and I just wanted to get them started today. So we did that. It was just a little directed drawing, and we're coloring, and they were happy, and we'll hopefully get a chance to finish it tomorrow or sometime next week. And it just calmed everyone down, and it worked well. So since then, I've been making 2,000,004 copies, and I'm not kidding. 2,000,004 copies. I go through way too much paper, but I don't know how to cut down on it. I'm still needing to. So I've been making my copies. I've got most of them done for next week. I have one that I forgot to take with me somehow that I want to bring tomorrow because we're still working on main idea and supporting details, and I just don't think they get it. And we're supposed to take a quiz tomorrow, and on that quiz it should be fairly straightforward. I gave them the details, and then they have to give me the main idea. And both the main ideas are basically the same, which is that hurricanes or hail is dangerous, and hurricanes are very dangerous. But the standard does say that the goal is to get them to identify a main topic or main idea when given details. It doesn't say that they have to identify the details, but I think that that's an important skill anyway, so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do one of those together. We're going to take the quiz, and then we have to finish up vocabulary too. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow, and then just more. I did find, for math, I found this number chart that goes to 200. So that's what I'm going to give them, and then they're going to skip count by 10, circle the numbers, skip count by 5, put a triangle around those numbers, skip count by 2, and color those red. So that's what we'll be doing for math, and then if they finish that, there's another practice skip counting by 2s, by 5s, and by 10s, and they'll be able to use this as a resource. So that's what we were doing tomorrow. I think I'm going to go on. I won't have very much time to film tomorrow. I do have recess duty on Fridays, but I don't always film during at recess, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and make this a 3-day vlog and finish out the week. So I will see you tomorrow morning. Hello everybody, today is Friday, October 26th. It is currently lunchtime. It's been somewhat of a better day than yesterday. I woke up feeling a little bit better, knowing it was Friday, and it actually being Friday really helped. And then it's just been going more smoothly with the kids, although we've had some not so great moments just in teacher fails where like we went over main idea in detail again, and then I gave them the quiz, and the quiz gave them 3 details, and then they had to choose a supporting the main idea. So it gave them 3 supporting details, and then they had to choose the main idea. And I only had 2 students who were able to do both of them. I gave them 2 problems to do, and then about, I don't know, maybe a quarter of the kids were able to do 1. And that was a little disappointing because, you know, clearly I have to go over main idea in detail more thoroughly. I have to hit it harder. And I just don't have time. The way the reading program works is we're on to a new skill next week, and I don't have time to go back and reteach this, and I don't know when I'm going to reteach it. So I'm just frustrated at that right now. In math, we are still doing skip counting. We did the activity where I gave them the chart that had numbers to 200, and we skip counted by 2s, 5s, and 10s, and we talked about patterns that we saw and noticed. So they seem to get it there, and then they're working on the back where they're skip counting by they're given numbers and they have to skip count. And about half of them are done. I pulled a small group to work with, and then once I'm done with that small group, I'm going to pull a second group of small group kids who clearly are struggling because they're still working on it and they're going very slowly. So I'm going to work with them, and while they're done, the other kids are, I think today I'm just going to have them do coding on their iPads because it's going to get too loud otherwise, and I just want calm. Then we're going to do our spelling test. I don't know if we're going to have time to write today. I really only have 1 kid who needs to finish his writing. 2 actually. No, I don't. I just have the 1 kid. So he actually might almost be done with his math. So when he's done with his math, I'll have him write. So update on my room. I walked in this morning, and my filing cabinet, which has lived over there next to this for about 6 years, had been pulled out and was right here behind the students' desks, just sitting there, because they're rewiring my room and they're putting this thing in. And this, my chart paper, which I had stored back here, was just thrown on the ground. My STEM scopes bins, which used to live over there where the iPad card is now, were pulled out and just sort of left askew in the middle of the room. My pencil sharpener, which was over there by underneath the TV, was on a student's desk. Everything was just out of place. So it looks like they've remounted the TV, which is good because what the students were doing, the way it was angled before, they could see the reflection in it. So what they would do is every chance they got, they would stand up and make faces and jump around and watch themselves in the TV, which was kind of cute, but also kind of a distraction, especially at the end of the day when I was trying to get them out and I turn around and I have 5 kids jumping around and watching themselves in the TV. I had the custodian come in and move the filing cabinet right here, which I'm not happy with, but it's the only place, like I literally have no room in my class to put that file cabinet anywhere. And it's not that I use it all that much, but I do have odds and ends that I don't really have any other place to put. So I use it for storage. I used to use it to put things on, and then I would put my schedule cards on the side right here. I guess I moved them all. And they were just really convenient to take and put. So now I had to move the schedule cards, and to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure where I put them right now. So my room got reorganized today. I'm a little upset that I now apparently have no room to put my place value spiders anywhere. The only thing I could think is to take this board, my standards of mathematical practices board, down and turn that into a bulletin board. But it's like I just started using it because I'm really hitting find patterns hard this week. And it's like I'm just starting to use it now that I can see it, and it's now I might have to move it. So I don't know. I guess I can put it up above the backpacks because there's space. I'm not going to show you because it's I've got my class list up there, but I can put them up there, which maybe that's what I'll do. I don't know. It's very frustrating, these changes. And once it all gets set up and I have everything and I'm able to use the TV, I'm sure I'll be perfectly happy with it, but in the meantime, it's a pain, and I wish they had done this over the summer when I wasn't here and it wasn't inconveniencing me. So I have some homework that I need to check in, and yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna do right now is check in some homework and then wait for the kids to come back from lunch. So I will catch up with you after school. Okay, so it is the end of the day. I got through somehow. We finished our projects that we were working. I think I just have one student who doesn't have his spider. I'm gonna wait till Monday to hang the spiders up because I'm still not 100% sure if I'm gonna hang them up or if I'm just gonna send them home. So I'm thinking on that. It was rather eventful. I had one student threaten to kill another student, which it's second grade, so it's not as serious if it was an older kid, but it's not great. I don't know what was going on. They were having problems, and I thought I had settled it, and then that happened. So that just kind of put a damper on the day, unfortunately. And then this happened. I came in from recess and my door was unlocked, which I think I forgot to unlock it. And then I have wires now dangling from the TV. And yeah, so hopefully somebody comes in and fixes that, finishes doing all the work on it, and it'll be ready. I saw preschool had their TVs up and running and were using it, so it would be nice to be able to use it. I don't know exactly what I'm using it for. I guess what the plan is they're going to replace my projector and my document camera. They're going to replace the document camera with the stand, and then I'll be able to use my iPad to record things and then post up on the TV. So instead of using the projector and the document camera, everything's going to be on the TV in the back from now on. So that's what the plan is, I guess. So we'll see. I don't know, because I do a lot on my computer, so I don't know, and when I use that computer, I project things onto the board. I write on the board a lot. Well, I can't write on the TV, obviously. So I don't know if this is going to be a good change or not. We'll see. But yeah, so that's my whole week. I vlogged on Monday and Tuesday in a separate vlog, and then this was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Next week is Halloween. Yesterday, I had another teacher tell me that at her old school, they used to call October the 100 days of October, and it definitely feels like that with at least 20 of those days being Halloween. It's a very fun holiday, it is, but it's also wild, and I'm glad it happens on Wednesday this year because Wednesdays are short days. So that is my week. I know Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I was kind of negative. I was struggling But that's not every day. It just happened to be these 3 days. I'm just so tired, as I was saying, the 100 days of October, with all the split classes and the extra kids and the everything. It's just been, yeah. So next week is going to be an awesome week. It is Halloween. Halloween is fun. Halloween is chaotic. There's 20 days in that one day of Halloween, but I'm going to get through, and then it'll be November, and then it'll be parent conferences and Thanksgiving and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, I did have one thing. So I use these little clips with tacks on the back to hang my stuff up. I saw it on Pinterest. I'm not in here. Hold on. I saw it on Pinterest. It looks awesome, but my clips are constantly breaking, and the tacks, like, I will be standing teaching in the front of the room, and all of a sudden one of my cards will just jump off the wall broken. So if anybody has any suggestions on how to make them more secure, please comment below and tell me, because I am going crazy trying to figure those out. Like I said, I'll come in the room and things will be on the floor because they fell off. I'll be teaching and things just randomly fall off. It's just a mess. So yeah, so I need advice. Please, internet, please, YouTube, help me. You're my only hope. Okay, so that's where I'm going to end the vlog. Thank you for tuning in. Please comment. Please help me out. And yeah, please remember to hit like, hit subscribe to see more content in the future. Don't forget to hit that little notification bell. And thank you all so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful day.